My name's Paul Parker. I grew up in Auckland in New Zealand. Day to day I run my business, which is a security company, and that takes up all of my time. I had started to sort of make a plan maybe about 5 years ago, or probably longer now, like 7 years ago, that I needed to start thinking about my financial future, which I'd never really thought about. I'd just like lived day to day and gone on holidays and just did whatever, spent money. I never invested in buying a house or saving any money really. I just sort of spent money as it came in. So my money would come in and then I would spend it, living week to week. So I started to think about that and I thought that I needed to buy a house, and it was at the time when the property market was on a very steep incline. So as I was looking for houses which I thought were too expensive, they were going up as well, so they were getting more and more expensive. I did try to buy a couple of houses, but was unsuccessful. But I didn't think that I could do that in Auckland because I was scared of the high mortgage and worried that if interest rates rose that I wouldn't be able to afford to furnish the mortgage. A good friend of mine, Mike, had met Lucia previously, and he had bought a property in Te Atatu South. And he was in the process of renovating that property, and he had told me about Lucia, and she had piqued my interest when he told me about what she was about. And it just sounded to me like this was the opportunity that I had been looking for. And I was maybe a little bit open to hearing what she had to say. So I was actually around helping him painting his ceiling or sanding the ceiling or something like that, and Lucia came around for a visit. And I went outside and sat with her on the deck and had a cup of coffee and just talked to her. But I was also interested that what she had to say potentially had some value for me. And I knew that I had to change my mindset, really, and I was open to that as well. So she invited me along to one of her seminars, which I went along to and was quite eager to hear about and to learn. I really like the groups. So I'm the sort of person that feeds off other people's energy, and I get encouragement from other people on the same journey. It took me about 6 months to find this property, maybe even longer, maybe about 8 months actually, because I was still quite cautious and I wanted to make sure I got the right property, and it was still quite a buoyant market, and I had tried to get a few houses at auction and got beaten by other investors, and I was not that good. I was like nervous at the auctions, and I wasn't experienced at the process of being at auctions, and still was a bit nervous about the amount of money that I was going to spend, because I had the idea that if the value of the property was going to increase by X amount, but I was still frightened to spend the loan the money and spend that amount of money. And Lucia came along, and so did my friend Mike. There was a few people bidding at the auction, and it was quite a full room, and the bidding went quickly from 820,000 up to 900,000 in a matter of like minutes, and in fact went up to 920,000, and that had been my limit. So I wasn't going to go over that, and I was prepared to let the other people get the property for 920,000, but it had not met the reserve. I went outside with Lucia and Mike, and Lucia said to me that we could easily spend $950,000 on this property, and that it would still be a viable option at that price. But like I was saying, I was still kind of scared to spend a lot of money. But I did have trust in Lucia, so I handed her the paddle and said, go for your life. If you think that it's going to work, I trust that you've done this for a long time, and I needed to buy a property, so I let her take over the auction process from then. And we went back into the room, and they came back with a deal of 935,000 that the vendor was happy to sell at. So then the auction restarted, and Lucia increased it by $2,000, and then the other person increased by $2,000, and then she increased by $2,000, and they were done. So we got it at 939,000. I was pretty elated actually, yeah, for having been that long period of time, and that it became a reality, that the journey had begun. But I do know that people do have a lot of fear, and I sort of try to encourage people to get involved in the same thing like my friends and family that I'm doing, and they are always interested, but I think that fear always comes back in and they never take the step. I think that you need to have some faith and sort of let go in some way. It's kind of a journey that you have to go on yourself, really. I would say go to one of Lucia's classes.